Good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Angela Muir. I'm the head of sales for Stuba. And this morning we will see a presentation regarding San Antonio from the lovely Sarah, who's joined us this morning. Thanks for joining us again today, Sarah. Appreciate it as always. For anyone that missed it, just to remind you that we are recording the webinar and a copy will be sent to everyone that's joined us today, and it will also be available on our YouTube channel as normal. As we go through Sarah goes through her presentation, if you have any questions, please pop them in the chat and I'll ask them to Sarah as we're going, and then there'll be an opportunity at the end for any questions that you've maybe thought of or anything that we've missed. But yeah, I think that's probably everyone. So we can make a start if you're all right with that, Sarah.
Yeah, no worries. I should like I say, anyone has any questions, then just we can kind of divert off and answer them as we go.
Yeah,
always happy to chat about lovely San Antonio. So okay, so just a quick explanation of who I am. My name is Sarah Ellis and I am based in the UK, and I represent Visit San Antonio for the UK market. So I work with lovely people like Stuba, travel agents, tour operators, airlines, and also consumers. And basically my job is to just tell the whole country about San Antonio, the merits of traveling there, what works for the different types of clients that we have out there, the different experiences that you can have. And just, yeah, I have a great job talking about somewhere that I absolutely love. So it's there's worse things in the world to be doing a Tuesday morning. It's Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah, it is still Tuesday.
Yeah.
Your jet lag's confusing you.
Yeah. I took a swipe at talking about San Antonio this morning in detail without going off on a tangent. So wish me luck. But it's San Antonio in Texas is a beautiful spot. We were just talking generally before we started about people's perception of Texas and what they think it's going to be like. And generally it's people think it's going to be dusty landscapes, cowboys, tumbleweed, kind of like trailing across the road. When actually, obviously there is that aspect of Texas, but for the most part, it's very, very different to what people expect it to be. So just to give you an idea of kind of the geography of Texas, San Antonio is in southern Texas. So we are just here, just below Austin, just to the west of Houston, and obviously Dallas-Fort Worth at the top there, you can see. So we are the kind of gateway, they say gateway to Big Bend National Park as well, if you're going from the east to the west. And Big Bend National Park is a beautiful kind of very rural kind of outdoors area. So we are like the largest city kind of en route to Big Bend. But that in itself is still a good 7 to 8 hour drive. So just gives you an idea of the scale of Texas. Having said that, it's really easy to get to us. So indirect services into San Antonio International Airport, easy from the UK. You can go via a number of different airports with most of the major carriers. And then there's also direct services directly into Houston, Austin and Dallas-Fort Worth. And then people pick up cars and do obviously that fly drive kind of circuit. So really easy to reach San Antonio. And like I said, don't be put off by the scale. Texas is very easy to drive around. Internal flights are very easy. And there's lots of different ways to kind of travel between place to place. So once you get to San Antonio is very walkable. The downtown area is lovely and condensed. And I think that really kind of lends itself to people can turn up, don't have to have car hire there. You can kind of place yourself in San Antonio and it's easy then to kind of do what they call a hub and spoke holidays. So you could stay in San Antonio and you go out for day trips to different areas because it's, like I say, so much to do in a very small area. We are only about an hour and a half south of Austin, and that's allowing for traffic as well. So I'd say normally about an hour, roughly, hour and a half on a bad day. We are about 50 minutes from Fredericksburg and the Texas wine country. And the outskirts of San Antonio are the hill country of Texas. So it's very green, very lush. And San Antonio itself is kind of a bit of a city of two halves. You've got the downtown area, which is, you can see the map here where I'll kind of talk you through the key points there. But on the outskirts of San Antonio, you have the Hill Country Resort, which is where you'll find like your JW Marriott's, your Hyatt Regencies, La Cantera resorts. So the proper resort, golf, spa, swimming pool type holidays where you can just kind of sit and relax and just do your thing, and then head into downtown, which is about 20-25 minutes away. So two different options that you can do. You can even do like a twin centre in one city if you wanted to, do downtown and team it with one of the resort hotels. But just to give you an idea of the lifeblood really of San Antonio is the river walk. So this river that you can see running from top to bottom of my map here, and that kind of like loops off into a little river walk area loop there, is basically a water system that is about 15 miles long, runs from top to the bottom. The ends of it are kind of a little bit more rural, but the central point of it, that loop that you can see there, is where you'll find a high kind of concentration of hotels, bars, restaurants, with some great indoor outdoor dining options, shopping, theatre district, and just really that's why it's so walkable, because everything you want is in that space. And you can navigate it at street level, or you can go down a level and kind of navigate by the Riverwalk itself. And that really is a stunning part of San Antonio that everyone kind of, once you've been there, if someone mentions a Riverwalk, that's what you're going to remember, because it really is a beautiful kind of part of the city. I'll probably come back to the map as we go through and point out different things.
That's true.
Did someone have a question already?
No, I think that was just me. That was just me saying that we've got to ask questions. But no, for somewhere, it's quite unusual in a lot of cities in the States for things to be so walkable and so close together. Which is great. As you say, if you don't need car hire and it's all walkable, just makes it another easier sell to people, because a lot of people don't want to drive when they go to the States. I don't mind it, but not everyone wants to.
Yeah, to be fair, we are actually finding a lot of people saying that, you know, they don't want to, what traditionally would have been like a driving destination.
Yeah.
You know, people are saying they don't want to do it now. They just want other ways, be it by train or, you know, there's a luxury bus company called Von Lane who run between Houston and San Antonio. You know, if people don't always want to, maybe it's because maybe they drive too much at home and they just don't want to do it when they're away. You know, I can get that.
Yeah, I get that as well.
Yeah, so it is good to have the option where, quite honestly, you can literally just kind of like get off the flight, get an Uber from the airport, which is 15 minutes away to downtown, and then you can just do everything you want on foot, and it's nice and easy. So yeah. And I think once people have been to San Antonio as well, they'll realise that it is a big city. It's actually the 7th largest populated city in the US. But actually it doesn't feel anywhere like that. It feels like a small town. It's got a lovely kind of vibe to it where everything is comfortable, walkable, friendly. So it gives it a very small town vibe. And also with the architecture as well, they have kind of like a legislation that means that they have to preserve like the outside of the building. So if they repurpose the buildings, they have to keep the front of the building as it was, which means that the architecture has kind of stayed in place as well, which then means that it doesn't feel like a big kind of built up city. So yeah, it's a beautiful part of Texas.
It's nice. And it's nice when they do that though with old buildings, that you have to keep the facades, because it's a shame that so many places have lost all of that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it really does feel kind of like low rise in the city as well. Again, lends itself to that kind of like small town feel. And it's very you know, we've got a lot of history in San Antonio. There's German history, there's Mexican history there. So you'll see that reflected in the buildings and the food and the culture as you go around the city. So again, it just gives it something, but it's not all kind of like glass skyscrapers and that kind of feel that people expect from, like you say, people think of Texas, they think of Dallas and
Yeah.
the TV show, and they think it's going to be kind of like that big corporate kind of um, feel, but everywhere is very different. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a big corporate city as well, but it's nice to have kind of like a bit of both.
Yeah.
Um, I think one of the things we're most proud of is our kind of going back to the buildings and the history of it. We are a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and that is for our Missions National Historic Park. So the most famous mission that we have of the five is the Alamo, which again is people don't expect it to be, but it's right in the middle of downtown. So it's right there. You don't need to drive out to it or, travel for an hour to it. It's right in the middle of everything. So we have five missions altogether, and these really are the founding kind of pillars of San Antonio. And this just shows how kind of like the city itself was founded and how the missions became like the foundations for the communities. And they're all still there today and could all be visited today. So excuse me. So and they're beautiful. They are lovely buildings. The one on the it'll be my right hand side, maybe your left hand side. The big picture is Mission San Jose, which is just beautiful. It's got like the whole compound there that you can go into. The Texas Rangers do guided tours there, which are free of charge. And they would talk to you about, and it makes the city make sense. They'll talk to you about kind of like how the missions were founded, brought in like the communities and the indigenous people, and how they kind of like over the years how the city evolved. And also with every kind of history, there's always kind of like a side to it, but it needs to be acknowledged. It's just a really interesting historic place, and to go and hear about it from people who actually are descendants of people that lived in these missions back in the day is a phenomenal experience. So yeah, we are very proud of our UNESCO designation there for the missions. Like I say, the Alamo is downtown, so right in the middle of everything. But the others are reached easily by taxi, come 10 minutes away, or you can even hire a bike and cycle out to them because the river walk does actually go out to the missions. So again, it's a beautiful way and a different way to kind of get out and explore. Nothing better than getting on a bike, get an e-bike, go out and just kind of head out to these different places. But the Riverwalk, as we mentioned earlier, is the central point of everything, really. This is kind of where you're going to be eating, drinking, shopping, and just kind of wandering around on a lovely warm evening. But it is stunning. They have like the barges that go up and down the canal system. It's got a very European feel to it. It's down a street level, which makes it kind of feel like enclosed and cozy. You've got like it's well known for its kind of like the colourful umbrellas of the restaurants up and down the side of the Riverwalk. You have the Go Rio barges there that go up and down, and they can actually be used as a mode of transport, or you can have dinner on them. You can go on there and make margaritas. You can have a guided tour on them. I believe they even did yoga barges at one point, but they stopped doing that because I think it was a little bit tricky to get your balance as you were going. But I'd rather do a margarita one, I think. But it's beautiful. You kind of have, it's just, you sit at the restaurant, you're having like margaritas and some amazing Mexican food, and the little barges at night are kind of all lit up and they're going up and down the river, and people are kind of like waving as they go past, and people are walking along the river walk, and it's great for families. That's another thing about San Antonio. It's absolutely a great destination for families. As well. There's so much to do that I'll talk about in a second as well, outside of kind of like on the outskirts of San Antonio as well as in the city itself. But yeah, I mean this really for me is the iconic kind of San Antonio with the barges. And in the holiday seasons they have like lights from all of the trees, and I'm a bit of a magpie, something sparkly. And it's a winner, so it's very sparkly and it's very
Yeah.
beautiful down there. So, and it's very safe as well. So, I mean, I've
Mm.
wandered around there at kind of like 11 p.m. at night, and it's a nice kind of community feel to it. And I think that really is key for San Antonio. It is a community. Um, I had someone ask me once, "Oh, if I went to San Antonio in December, will everything be open?" And I was like, yeah, it's not there for tourism. It is a community. It's always open. The fact that you go there and you visit is amazing. It's a bonus. They love it when you go and they want to share their city with you, but it is, it's not that type of purpose-built destination. It's like it's always open. There's always something going
Yeah.
on.
Mm.
But yeah, it's
It
yeah,
does
it's just
it does sound lovely down at the river. I was laughing when you said about the yoga classes on a barge. I go to
yeah.
yoga. I can just my balance on ground is not moving
I
difficultly enough,
know.
but I'm just trying to do it on a barge that's moving down a river. I think I'd be man women overboard.
I know. I must admit, I did raise
Yeah,
an eyebrow when they said they were doing it. I was like that. Yeah, I can't even walk straight most days, let alone do
yeah.
yoga.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'll stick
Um,
to the margaritas.
oh, honestly, the margaritas are. You need to try a prickly pear margarita or a frozen mango Oh,
Oh,
salivating
sounds
now.
nice.
um, But yeah, I'll get onto the food and drink in a second because we're also very proud of our food and drink as well. So that is another UNESCO designation we have. We are a UNESCO Creative City of Gastronomy. So the one thing that you will not go missing for is food in San Antonio. It's stunning. It really is like very kind of like, you have Tex-Mex, you have authentic Mexican, you've got fusion cuisine, you've got there's a great French fine dining restaurant there. There's barbecue. There's a whole host of different types of food. I took a family trip out last week, and we had a vegan on the trip. And it's one of those where people were like, "Oh, send a vegan to Texas, isn't it? All meat and barbecue." But
Mm.
I'm sure that she won't mind saying that she was very well fed for the week. So, it really is something that they cater to all kind of dietary and taste as well. So, and it's just amazing food. Normally you go to the US and you're loath to find anything where you're not having it with fries for the week. But when you go
Yeah.
to San Antonio, I think I probably had about two chips that I nicked up from someone else's plate last week. Because it's all fresh guacamole and tortillas and wraps, and it's like it's just beautiful food. So you really
Sounds
don't,
lovely.
it is, and I'm afraid my waistline is testament to that at the moment. Trying to get that weight off this week. But so
It's
the
the hard bit,
reward. So we
isn't it?
have.
When you've been in a good trip.
No, exactly. It was a fantastic trip. We had a great time. So we have lots of great museums as well. We have like the Whitty Museum, which is kind of like the San Antonio kind of like natural history museum for the dinosaur lovers out there. That's amazing. We also have the Doozeum, which is very much catered to kind of like families and children, and where the children have lots of interactive exhibits that they can get involved in. So we also have the Briscoe Western Arts Museum, which I love. It's got like full-size stagecoach in there. It's not too big. It's just the right size to kind of go in, have a wander around for an hour or so. And it's all kind of different types of Western arts. So different styles from like bronze statues to paintings to modern paintings to old paintings. You've got the stagecoach in there. You've got like old saddles in there. And it's just great to really tap into that kind of like Western culture that the likes of everyone's going crazy for it at the minute with Yellowstone and all of those TV shows that have come out. And it's great that we can offer something like authentic like that. Another good thing, whilst I'm on that topic, actually, is San Antonio is only 45 minutes from Bandera, which is where you'll find kind of like the ranching aspect of Texas. So that's where people could go out and do a couple of nights on like a dude ranch and do kind of like the whole horse riding and all that kind of thing out in just like literally 45-minute drive. And then we also have Tejas Rodeo, which is just on the outskirts of San Antonio in Bulverde, which is the rodeo that takes place every Saturday night throughout May to November, December. And that is just a great family experience there as well. And we also have a really long kind of stockyard show, rodeo and stockyard show that takes place end of February, 2 weeks in February through to the beginning of March. So if you do want to see a cowboy, that is definitely the time of year to go out and visit. So don't all rush at once, everybody. But it's a really good time to be out there, and there's lots of things that people can get involved in. And like I say, it's just that authentic kind of Texan experience there. We like to do things with a Mexican flavour as well. So, and then you have like the outdoorsy stuff as well. The end of the river walk, as I mentioned earlier, gets a little bit more rural. So if you are into yoga, this is kind of the place you can do yoga. You can go kayaking, hiking, biking. You know, it's a great, like I mentioned earlier, it's a great way to kind of do the river walk on the outskirts. Is to hire a bike and go out there, or just walk it. It's very easy to walk as well. So this is kind of like the scenery that you'll see as you kind of go out. And we have the UNESCO Creative City of Gastronomy that we mentioned earlier. So food-wise, we have amazing barbecue food. We have all different types of restaurants. We are one of 3 cities in America to have a Culinary Institute of America. So we have lots of chefs that kind of learn their trade in San Antonio, go around the world, and then come back to San Antonio to kind of set up pop-up restaurants and full-time restaurants there. So you get all these different kind of flavors coming back with these chefs. You know, we have Michelin-starred restaurants and chefs in the city, which is a big kind of coup for us because, you know, there's one by a chef called Nicola Black who runs the restaurant called Jerk Shack, and it is phenomenal food. And she won one of the levels of the Michelin Star Awards recently, and it's just a lovely casual kind of eatery, but people will queue up there at lunchtime to go and grab their food. It's just that kind of well known. So yeah, you definitely will not go hungry in San Antonio, that is for sure.
No, I don't think we will. It
No.
looks amazing.
So I think if you're doing that and you're eating loads, you need to kind of get out and kind of like burn off some of the calories. So, so like I say, it's good that it's walkable because you can do lots of walking, you can get your steps in, you can burn off the food. You don't feel quite so guilty then going back for that second kind of like taco or tres leches cake, which is delicious, by the way. If anyone hasn't had that, you definitely need to try that whilst you're out there. But just some of the things that we have on offer. So some of the key things that I like to say to people, you know, you don't want to miss whilst you're in San Antonio is on the screen here, you've got the Saga San Fernando Cathedral, which is, so that is actually the epicenter of San Antonio. It's a beautiful cathedral, and it actually has a light show that projects onto the front of the cathedral, which takes place 3 times a night. And it's about 20 minutes long. It's free. People just turn up, gather in the square, watch the light show, and it tells the story of how San Antonio was kind of founded right through the ages. And you can snap hundreds and hundreds of pictures because it's just a phenomenal site there. You can go in and visit San Fernando Cathedral during the daytime as well, and it's a beautiful cathedral, very ornate in there, so well worth a visit daytime and nighttime. Then you also have Market Square, which is the largest Mexican market in the US. So it's very colourful. You know, the flags that you see there are kind of always up. If you go at the weekend, there's like the largest indoor market. Lots of different stalls there, food stalls, locally made kind of wares. But if you go during the week, you have the indoor market and the shops along here. And it's just a massive pop of colour. It really is. We have like things like Day of the Dead, so Dia de los Muertos. So you'll find lots of like the sugar skulls and those. I don't know if anyone's seen Coco, the kind of animated children's film, where you've got the face painting and it's all those kind of like statuettes, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Then we also have La Velita, which is the historic arts village, which again, just off the Riverwalk. This is where you'll find some great little kind of like independent shops, some great restaurants that kind of like back onto the Riverwalk. And then you also have like, there's an outdoor amphitheatre there as well, where when we have things like Pride, Day of the Dead, Fiesta, they kind of dress the barges up and they will float around and parade around the Riverwalk, and people will sit in the amphitheatre and watch those go by. And then also there's this just opposite where you'll find like musical concerts taking place. It's very small, it's very kind of like local, but that is a kind of a lovely spot to kind of sit out and watch these festivals and parades go by. There's always something going on. of some sort in San Antonio. Then we also have shops at the river centre, so that's just some mall kind of shopping there. Great mall, lots of shops to be had there. And that teamed with kind of like the locals that are dotted around the city. You get a real kind of like mixture of kind of like normal high street shopping, high-end shopping, and then the locally made goods as well. And then as you go out into the hill country, you've got things like La Cantera, which is a resort hotel, a luxury resort hotel. But then you've got shops at La Cantera, which is like a shopping complex, which is for those that have like a healthy budget. But you can get a great pair of cowboy boots up there, a great cowboy hat. So yeah, there's lots of shopping to be done as well. So take an extra suitcase, that's what I say. And then we have your Tower of the Americas. So go up top of the tower, you get that kind of like great 360 view of San Antonio and the revolving restaurant up there. So that's a great spot. And that's a great spot to navigate by, because you can always kind of tell where you are in the city if you can locate the Tower of the Americas. We also have some amazing microbreweries, and they're called ice houses as well. So ice houses are basically just outdoor spaces. There's a really good bar there, mismatched furniture, and you'll just kind of find them in different neighborhoods and around the city. And it's just a great place to kind of like pull up, have a beer, have a drink, have a chat, sit outside, watch the world go by. So if someone asks about an ice house, that's what it is. It's basically an outdoor bar. And then, so we mentioned earlier about things that the children can do. So I don't want to run out of time here, so hopefully I'm not yabbering on too much. But we've got so much to do for the family. So Natural Bridge Caverns is about a 30-minute drive outside of the city. You can do day trips out there, and it is an underground cavern system. It's all very civilized. There's a pathway. It's all lit up. You know, it's beautiful down there, and you can go down there with like a guide who will talk to you about the harking back to your school days here of stalagmites and stalactites and all the formations and how long it takes over the years for these things to build up in the caverns. And there's a light show down there as well, and it's just absolutely stunning. Come above ground from there, and you've got like a rope trail and all sorts of outdoor things that you can do above ground as well. So it's a great place to kind of like spend the day. Then we also have things like we have Six Flags Fiesta. So we have for the adrenaline junkies out there, that's the one to do with all of the different kind of like roller coasters and rides. And then we also have Schlitterbahn Water Park, which is over near New Braunfels, which is close by. And then another kind of feather in our cap is Morgan's Wonderland, which is the first 100% accessible water park. And that basically is it's just phenomenal for families. You know, they can go there, and it's for all families, children of all abilities, and they can go and have fun. They can learn about each other whilst having fun and get an understanding of kind of, you know, every child is unique, every child is special. So that really is the first of its kind in the world. So that really is something that we're very proud of there. And then we have some amazing concert venues. I was saying we went out and saw a show at the Majestic Theatre, which is right in the middle of downtown. Beautiful theatre. You walk in and it's very ornate. And then as you actually go through to your seats, it actually feels like you're outside. It's bizarre. It's not. You're inside, but it just feels like you're outside under a night sky. And it's a great place to see a concert or a comedian. And then we also have like the larger stadiums like the Frostbank Centre as well. And then we also have the San Antonio Spurs, who are the local basketball team. So we have sports on offer as well. And San Antonio is actually being considered as a training camp base for the FIFA World Cup next year. We're not too sure which team may be out there training. That's still to be announced. So so there is going to be that kind of like football/soccer element as well in the next kind of 12 months. Oh, come to the end already. I'm sure I've missed loads off of here. I've kind of gone off on a tangent. But yeah, it's great for families. You can really do kind of like the Western experience. I am going to actually just talk, if I've got time, to talk about some of the different kind of partners that we have out in San Antonio with regards to the types of tours and things that people can do. We have Old Town trolley tours, which will do like the guided tour around the city, so really easy to do that. We have a company called Sidecar San Antonio, which is a really unique thing to do. So basically, you have your tour guide who's driving a Vespa motorcycle, and then the guest will be in the sidecar, being kind of zipped around the city. But they're a lovely couple. They're very cool. It's a family business, but they will cater it. If your clients say, "Oh, we really want to go and have lunch with like a local family," they'll organise it. You know, they can basically tailor it to what your clients want to do. It doesn't have to be like a rigidly set itinerary. So that's something different, and it's a fun, quirky thing to do. We also have the Mural Bike Rides Tour, which is an e-bike tour, which is it's run by a guy called Brian Benavides, who works in, I think, insurance or finance in his day job, like his normal job. And he is a cycling enthusiast, and he wanted to start up. He basically wants to live in a pair of shorts. So he was like, I want to do this full time. I want to be on my bike in shorts in the sunshine, showing people the amazing street art that we have in San Antonio. And it's such a great tour. I've done it a few times now, and every time you do it, he will also adapt the route and take you off to slightly different places. If there's new street art, he will take you off and he will show you the new pieces that have come up. Because there is an initiative. It is like the San Antonio street art community. So there are some phenomenal pieces of artwork all around the city, and he will take you around. He will talk to you about the artists, show you these pieces. One of the ones we saw this time was an Ozzy Osbourne, and it is stunning. Bearing in mind they just do it with spray paint. It was, I should put some pictures onto my presentation of the recent round of it, but absolutely stunning. I don't know how they do it. I can't even draw a stick man without it looking like an alien, so I really don't know how they do it.
You and me
But
both.
that's a great tour. Yeah. I'm not selling myself here, am I? I can't stand up straight and I
No,
can't draw and I eat
yeah.
loads. Um,
You like
um,
margaritas, so
yes.
that wins on every other front.
Um, but yeah, so that's great. And it's an e-bike as well. So it really is like low maintenance. If you want to cycle, you can. If you don't, you want to be lazy and just want to push a button and just go, point and go. It's a great way. It actually made me want to come back and buy an e-bike. It was that much fun. So what else do we have? So we have that. We have the Go Rio cruises that go up and down barges. We have Sidecar San Antonio. We also have, for the wine enthusiasts out there, you have Cottonwood wine tours. Our guide was a lovely lady called Brandy. Picked us up from our hotel, took us out to a vineyard in the kind of like hill country. We did a wine tasting. She took us around a couple of other spots, and then she dropped us back to our hotel. So again, it just shows that you don't need to have a car and be driving yourselves to do
Yeah.
these things. There are organized tours that will take you out to these different points kind of in and around San Antonio. Um, there are just so many things to do. I could talk all day, to be fair. I'd probably is there
Nothing
any
wrong with that.
questions, or is there anything that people want to know about San Antonio that I may not have covered yet?
Yeah, anything at all, please let us know. Sounds amazing. I said to you before we started, it was an area that I really didn't know very much about. It sounds really good. I like the fact that it's really walkable, and and you don't have to hire a car. I don't mind driving a bit when I'm on holiday, but I don't want to drive the whole time because I do drive a lot here. But yeah, it sounds really good. Food looks amazing. Yeah, I think that this might have to go on the list of somewhere to visit at some point.
I think if it's not on your list already, it definitely needs to go on there because
Yeah, I
it's
think
just,
so.
it's and even like we say, like the flights, it's so easy to get out there. Even, if you want to go direct to San Antonio and just want to do 5, 6, 7 nights in San Antonio, you can do that.
Yeah.
The indirect service flights are so easy. And actually, to be honest, I've actually kind of got into a groove of enjoying them because you get to get off, you get to do a bit more duty-free kind of shopping, you get to kind of stretch your legs, and then you get back on for another short hop across. And upon landing in San Antonio, the airport itself is it's just so easy. It's a lovely kind of manageable airport. It's not too big, but it is an international airport. But you honestly will be through so quickly from kind of getting off your flight through to kind of like picking up your Uber. Again, even that is very easy. You walk outside, there is a pickup zone, order your Uber, it'll tell you whether to go to point A, B, or C. Along they come, and then within 10 to 15 minutes, you're in downtown. Um, I think hotel wise, let me just give you an idea of some of the hotels. Obviously, that would be good for certainly for Stuba to cover some of the hotels because that's what it.
That's what we do.
We have like sorry, we have like I say, I mentioned earlier, we have like the kind of like I keep doing this because it does kind of like surround us, like the hill country bit. But in that little arch, you've got things like JW Marriott, you've got Hyatt Regency there, you've got La
Yeah.
Cantera. You've got your luxury resort hotels there. Then downtown, you've got hotels like there's a Westin downtown. We've got Kimpton Santo that's just recently opened up. There's a Fairmont down there. The Intercontinental Hotel has amazing beds. Best night's sleep I think I've had in recent years at the Intercontinental. Can never ever underestimate a good bed.
No,
And
definitely not.
then you've also got things like there's also a hotel called the Maverick. It's Maverick Apartment, so it's hotel, but it's apartments, and that's from studios, one bedroom suites, right off of Houston Street. So that's really interesting to have that kind of accommodation there as well. And
Yeah,
then
good
we've
for
got some
families as
classic.
well.
Yeah, honestly, I could have lived in it. It was lovely. Had a great kitchen, great, kind of like living room area, walk-in wardrobe. Yeah, just a really great option and a really good price point as well for people. Where I know everyone is kind of like conscious of spend at the minute, and that's another thing in San
Yeah.
Antonio, is that once you're there, the prices are good, they're reasonable. You're not going to be spending out like hundreds and hundreds of dollars for like dinner every night, and
Mm,
that really is like a key focus is value at the moment.
yeah. That's always good.
Certainly for like the family market.
Yeah.
Hotel wise though, a couple of classics to mention. You've got the Valencia Hotel, which is just off of the Riverwalk, which is a great tequila bar, very homely. One of those ones where you could kind of sit in the lobby area and just kind of like feel like you're going to read a book and just kind of people watch. Omni La Mansion is a classic San Antonio hotel. Lovely kind of courtyard, very kind of like carved woods and kind of like that tiled floor feel to it. So
Mm,
we really do have some amazing hotels, not just high end, but like we say, apartments or hotels that
yeah.
kind of like, Homewood suites that will cater to those that are conscious of budget. So
Yeah.
um, I would really kind of look into that. Also, just a tip, if it says Riverwalk in the hotel name, don't assume that it has direct access to the Riverwalk because it can be a Riverwalk hotel but be like a block or so away. But a lot of them will have that
Okay.
kind of like access to the Riverwalk, which makes it really easy for everybody. So
Okay. Sounds definitely
yeah.
sounds like there's certainly a lot of choice of hotels.
Mhm.
Which is great. We've got a couple of questions from Daryl. Hi, Daryl. Thanks for joining us. Hope you didn't eat. I hope you ate all your cake that you made the other week with us. We took some agents to the big bake off in London and Manchester, and Daryl had joined us in
Um,
London.
I did
Um,
that. It's amazing.
it's so good, isn't it? What time would you suggest is the best time of year to visit San Antonio?
San Antonio is a year-round destination. I would say probably more so we for the UK consumers normally we'd say like our spring or our autumn is a nice time to go. It's warm. The thing you'll find with San Antonio is it's not a humid heat necessarily.
Okay.
So I mean, I was out there last week and it was 35 degrees, but it was dry, it was warm, it was sunny, it was absolutely beautiful. If you're going kind of like July, August time, it is going to be hot. But some people love that. That's what people go away for is the sunshine and the guaranteed kind of weather. And then in the winter time, you can go, it's great daytime temperatures, just take layers for the evening because it will cool down a little bit. But it is absolutely a year-round destination. They very rarely get snow. They have had snow over the years, but very rarely. And it will be probably a cold blast for a couple of days and then it'll kind of like shift off again. Um, but yeah, I mean, where are we? And middle of September, and it was
Yeah,
35 degrees still, but a nice
not bad.
manageable heat. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good. Very good. So,
Thanks for that. Daryl's also asking, is there a bus or train service to downtown from the airport?
there's lots of bus services, Uber services, train, no, but easy to reach by all other
Okay.
means. Yeah, there will be bus services, so it's nice and easy to get there. So, yeah.
Anyone else have any questions for Sarah?
No.
No, I think that might be us today.
Okay. Well, thank you for your
Great.
time.
Thank you, Sarah. Thanks for your time as always.
No, it was brilliant to
Oh,
speak to you guys. And I have
always
actually
nice to
got
have you.
my, yeah. If anyone has any questions or any follow-up, like I say, I am here as a resource for anybody that has any, be it 6 months down the line, you have a question for someone about the best place to get a margarita or what tour to do, then just please take a note of my email address and just drop me an email. Like I say, that's exactly what I'm here for, is to support, you guys and the agents in trying to get those bookings and get people out to experience our lovely part of the world. So.
Yeah,
Okay.
looks amazing. Thanks again, Sarah, for joining us, and thank you for everyone that joined us this morning. As I said at the start, you will be sent a copy of the video, and it'll also be available on our YouTube channel. And I'm sure we'll have some more webinars coming up in the not too distant future. If you keep an eye on our Facebook page or our Hablo page, there'll be the sign up link there for the next ones when they're due. But thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Have a great week.